What up, world? Welcome to the Spiritual Gems podcast. My name is DJ,
And my name is Raven.
and we are your co-hosts for this wonderful podcast. This is our first episode, y'all, so welcome. We're going to talk a little bit today about, why we wanted to start this podcast and just kind of introduce ourselves to you guys, and so you can get to know us. I guess I'll go first by introducing myself to the world.
Okay.
So world, again, I go by DJ. I like to say that I'm an old soul having a new experience in this life. I sort of have gone through a spiritual awakening over the past maybe like 7 or so years of my life. And I've done a lot of work, a lot of meditation, numerous modalities of healing. I've read a lot of books. I've done a lot of work. Well, I've done therapies, all of the whole nine, pretty much. Well, almost, except for certain medicinal herbs like ayahuasca and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been kind of on a healing journey for a long time and just really learned to tap in and hone into my spiritual God-given gifts. And so through that process, I've come into my awakening of knowing that I'm here to help heal others. And I basically learned how to do that through healing myself. And so when the calling kind of came to me, through intuition, I felt like I needed to really challenge myself and put myself out there because I'm very shy, believe it or not, and just put myself out there so I can talk to you all, you know what I mean, about potentially healing and life things and just kind of like imparting my wisdom on you and you guys impart wisdom on me and we kind of just reflect off of each other so that we could be our best selves. And so, yeah, that's what brought me to this journey, man, to really just tap into my gifts and to help people heal. So that's what really got me to this point. And I'm sure as we go on and have more episodes, I'll share more about my personal life, my personal experiences and things of that nature for sure. Yeah. Raven?
Oh, I guess it's my turn. I don't really know where to begin. I mean, I been on my healing journey for since 2020.
Okay.
And I feel like I've gotten way more in touch with my intuition over the past couple of years. Like the more you go, the more you grow and the more you kind of get in touch. I feel like I grew up Muslim, and I grew up with Islam, but I also do feel still spiritually connected to my religion. I spent a lot of years stepping away, trying to figure out what I was doing, where I was going, who I was. And I feel like as the days go by, even just within this year, I'm starting to find my pathway. Not even just back to something, but just my pathway in general. Yeah, we're going to have a lot to say. I mean, I feel like I have a lot to say. Everybody always feels like they have a lot to say because this world is full of opinions. But
Yeah.
anytime me and DJ link up, we always have crazy good conversation.
Facts.
And I feel like it's definitely stuff that we could keep to ourselves, but I think that spreading what we have to say could touch somebody.
For sure.
And I'm excited. I think I've always wanted to do a podcast anyway, so I feel like DJ wanting to do one, actually wanting to do one, and me finally becoming friends with somebody who was really about it. I'm just let's just go. Even no matter what, somebody's going to hear it and get the message.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, well said. And by the way, y'all, this is I know for a past life for sure, this is my little sister. 100%. She'd be annoying the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But
the whole time before recording this, we couldn't even get it right for 5 minutes.
Y'all gonna see the bloopers. Crazy. Super embarrassing, but dope. So, okay, let's get her right into it. So, why did you feel sort of called to get into podcasting? I mean, I know that you kind of talked about it a little bit, but what is something that I guess that you were hoping to get out of this for yourself?
It's not even that I felt super called to do podcasting. It's just been so many situations where I'm like with my friends, like people who I'm really truly close with, and like we just kind of like it happens with everybody, of course. Like we talk about real shit, like we talk about real stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was always something that I was like, yo, like we should get on a podcast. We should start recording. We should
Yeah.
start filming, and I think that is also an opportunity for me to not be so like, oh, nobody wants to hear me. Nobody wants, because even though I've said like, oh, I have a lot to say, I do believe that I have a lot to say. But sometimes I'm just like I'm gonna just keep it to myself. So doing this almost forces me to do that. It also forces me to have conversations and hard conversations because it's been a couple times where me and you have had conversation and I'm like, I don't really know if I want to hear this, but you never really, nobody ever wants to hear the truth.
Yeah, that's real. We definitely do have some difficult conversations,
Yeah.
but growth comes out of those conversations. You know what I mean? I think I felt called to have the podcast. For me, it just kind of started with just being around coworkers and same thing, and just being around people and just having like deeper conversations, whether that was about like relationships or other hot button topics, and realizing that people really do have an interest in like going deeper about things. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, we do live in a world where everything is most of the world is surface level, and there's a lot of distractions and just things that to look outside of yourself. Excuse me. But I believe like the pandemic, one of the blessings that came from that was it forced everyone to kind of go within themselves, right, and really spend time with figuring out who they are. So either you were in that particular time, you were either thriving or you were freaking miserable the whole time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like for the people who were like outside, and that was part of their identity and being forced to sit down, you know what I mean? Like some people were super miserable with that and got depressed. And through that, they had to find themselves in a different way. You know what I mean? And then for other people like myself, I'm a Cancer, so being at home, I was like, yeah, we here. You know what I mean? I was having a good old time at the
Yeah.
crib. But also still semi social butterfly in a sense, so I had to find other ways and to create community with my friend groups and stuff like that. And so I ended up having more time on my hands, which allowed me to spend more time doing more of a deep dive into myself, which added to my spiritual awakening.
Yeah, I feel
So-
like that time, my mom would say this, it separates the boys from the men. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like
it kind
that.
of like, it kind of like forces you. That time forced a lot of people to be like, what's really going on here?
Right.
Besides the fact that I go to work, I leave the house, I do this, I do that.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I think that it's crazy how the world is designed, whether there's always some type of sporting event or something crazy going on in the news. I mean, right now we're dealing with some stuff overseas that we just found out about. That's potential war. There's like 2 wars that we're about to partake in. And we're in the US, by the way, for all of you guys out in YouTube or TV land somewhere. We're up here on the East Coast, baby. But yeah, there's always some distraction. You know what I'm saying? There's always something there's always some club you can go to. There's always some restaurant you can go to.
Yeah, it's just like always something happening.
There's always some concert that you can go to. So there's always something to work. We work. Some of us work like 40 plus hours a week. Some of us have children. There's always something going on to keep us kind of like going, that we don't spend a lot of time with ourselves and really getting to know ourselves. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And in my opinion, like that's why we come here. You know what I'm saying? Is to learn, develop, grow, and figure out who you are. You know what I mean? In my opinion, we come here and we forget. And the whole point of this is to rediscover some things, and you learn more about yourself through, relationships, life events, things of that nature. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so, but excuse me, when we're so distracted by all the outside noise and you're kind of taught to go outside of yourself for validation all the time, how do you really know who you are? Like, how many of you out there have really thought about like, yo, why do I like this jogger fit? Why do I like the color blue? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I just like it. Or were you influenced to like it?
Everything is an influence. I feel like from a young age.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the time we come here, we're kind of like programmed, to like certain things. I mean, yes, outside of like foods and things of that nature, but even that, your taste buds, I found out that it only takes something like 21 days, or I could be misquoting it, to acquire the taste of something. So even if you don't really like something, you can learn to like it. So like, think about this, like how many people out here are drinking alcohol, and at first you had that first drink and you're like, yo, what is this?
Right. You're
This
like,
is
how do
trash.
people do this?
And he was
All the
broke
time.
too, so he was drinking like Sailor Jerry's. And like, my point is, you can learn to like things that you actually dislike. So how many of us are really? That's why it's so
Are
important.
liking stuff just because
Just
it's there.
because your friends are doing it, because your family is doing it.
Or
You know what I
because you
mean?
just think that, like, well, I should probably just do this. It's like, I feel like we're just in a time where I'm not going to say people don't know who they are or it's lack of identity, but it's just, it's so much influence of just everything around us that is, I can't speak for everybody, but sometimes it's hard to, like, not want to live a certain way, not want to eat certain foods, not want to buy certain stuff, because that's just like all you see. So trying to step away from that sometimes can be hard, because like really being super comfortable in your individuality, like it's not easy, because people fear judgment and like, yeah.
Yeah, fitting in is a real thing. Like going against the grain is not something that's accepted by society. I mean, like, we talked about this before. When we look at everything that we've been through, and at least in the American system, we'll talk about, like, when you go to school, everything is about, order, and, everything is put in a box. Everything is about limitations. Like, you're to do this math problem in this specific way. Even though you were able to get to the right answer, if you don't do it in this specific steps and show these steps, we can't give you credit for it. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about a limitation of choices. We take multiple choice tests. You know what I mean? Everything is kind of laid out for us. And so it's about regurgitating information. It's not about free thinking. It's not about free thought. You know what I mean? Everything is kind of designed that way, outside of maybe art, and maybe, my art heads out there or my artists out there who really do it. I mean, when you were learning art, I'd imagine that there were certain rules that you had to abide by, but generally speaking, you probably were able to kind of just do your own thing and your own influence in some ways. I don't know. You can correct me.
Yeah,
in the
like
comments.
even just being in art school, I remember, because that was something that I was really into.
You were
like,
in the art?
Yeah,
How
I was
did I not
heavy. I
know
was
this?
heavy into the art until like maybe middle school. I feel like is when it started to like
Yeah.
I started to like level down, because I think that's like, I'm gonna just hold this. I think that's like when like I started to become worried about what was happening around me, and like being
Coming
and
aware.
yeah, like not even, well, yeah, I guess so. Like I always felt like I was like conscious of like what was going on.
Yeah.
But middle school, for me, when I think about it, it's just like that's when I was like worried about who I'm friends with. Do they like me? Are people talking about me? Like, I don't want to get into a fight. Like, I was so worked up over what was happening around me in regards to people that I wasn't really tapped into like how, like, I was like so super into art when I was like younger. I remember in like 4th grade, I would do like certain projects, and my art teacher would be like submitting that shit into a like an art show.
Okay, Basquiat.
But and then in high school, like I was still in art, but but in those times, like I just didn't know who I was. And I was really going through like trying to figure that stuff out. I was like switching schools. Like I went to a school downtown in Philly in 9th grade. Like then I went to another school for like 3 months in 10th grade.
Damn, that
because
must have
we
been a lot.
were like in the middle of moving.
Yeah.
And then I went to the high school that I graduated from. I didn't get there until like maybe like December or January, I feel like. And And yeah, it was just like, and that high school was like predominantly white. And it's like, I don't want to say, oh, it's something wrong with that, but just growing up and being covered and like being Muslim, like it just was like, I was so worried about what was going on around me. And I couldn't really like focus on the stuff that I really used to love. So like even in high school, like I was into art, but I was not as good as I knew I probably could have been.
Yeah.
And even now, like over the past couple of years, I've really like been like, I really need to tap back into this.
You
Like,
do.
and I just don't know where to start. And also something I feel like it's like the Aries in me, but also something else is like, I don't want to have to go through the phase of like having to learn something. I want to just do it and be good. But that's like not realistic ever.
Oh, we can totally unpack that on another episode. Because I have some feelings about that. Oh, but thank you for sharing that. That was very personal. Well, first of all, I'm surprised. Like, I'm happy to learn something new about you, so that's fire. I've always wished that I had I am a creative, but not necessarily in the sense of drawing and sketching.
But art goes so many ways.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's part of the reason why I got into makeup, because it was an art form of mine. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I got into makeup. I was doing makeup at Sephora for like some time, but I think that was kind of like my creative outlet. I don't really know what it is now these days, but and not that that's a problem, but I just know that that's what it was then.
Yeah. No, that's fire. I think that part of our healing journey, it's important to tap into the things that we really enjoyed as children. Because a lot of our trauma was really developed in our childhood.
Oh shit, here we go with the trauma.
We were kind of
It was bound to
it was
come.
gonna come. I mean, first episode, 30 minutes. Yeah, so unpack that. It's just, yeah, I mean, a lot of us, our childhoods were ruined, for many reasons. And so a lot of us didn't really get to enjoy our childhood. And so what ends up happening, especially a lot of us in our 20s, we end up, trying to live out those fantasies and desires and things that we really wish we did as children. And for those people, not all, but for many people whose childhoods were robbed or taken away from them, they somehow have childish ways about them. And so it turns out sometimes, and there's no judgment in this, like, maybe they're like obsessed with Mickey Mouse or whatever, you know what I mean? Like things that you didn't really have time to push forward from, you know what I mean? Because of the trauma. And so, again, you can always, there's no judgment in that.
And everybody has their own interests. Like that's, if you like what you like, that's your steez, that's it. Like, that's fine. I think what I got from what you were just saying, I'm being serious. What I got was like, you get robbed of your childhood or some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
So when you finally become of a certain age or just at a certain time in your life where you can just do whatever you want, like you almost try and tap back or like bring that stuff back. Like I wasn't able to do this. And it's like, I think it's all about the way you may go about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So there's innocent and playful ways to go about it. So like for you, I'll give you two different like sides of the spectrum. So let's say you're like, yo, I miss art. Like I remember I used to like sketch, draw, paint. I want to tap into that. So it could be like literally a coloring book and you just mess around with color books again.
I just got 2 coloring books. That's so crazy that you just said that too. One of them is kind of like a calming, so it's got all these different like designs and shapes.
Yeah.
That's
like a big deal right now, coloring books. Like it's a thing.
No, like I keep going to Target and I keep looking at the markers and the pencils and the crayons and the paintbrushes and all of it. Dog. And I'm like, I need to pick what I want to do first before I buy anything.
Nah, you overthinking it, yo. Grab what you want. Get inspired. Yeah,
no, I think I might have to go get some crayons later.
You should. Like, why not? Like, I feel like it'll bring you peace. It'll be something that'll calm your mind. And like your inner child needs that. Because of the trauma that we have, a lot of us are acting out. It's almost like we're like babies acting out a tantrum. So we'll give you that. So you're more of the innocent side, let's say. So let's give you more of a more traumatic style, or dramatic style of the trauma. So a lot of us men, oh yeah, we going there already. So a lot of us men, we didn't have fathers in our lives, at least from my generation. It's getting better now, thank goodness, or so it's supposed to be getting better. And so we didn't have a lot of leadership in the home, so we had mothers who were very much in their masculine because they had to take care of us on their own. And so with that comes sometimes demasculation or emasculation of the man, right? So your manhood. So your mom may be taking out her anger on you, not knowing how to rear you as a boy with a lot of energy.
And every experience is different.
But I'm just talking about a scenario that how I think some people play out or how it plays out. And so you may not have gotten love at home. You're always in trouble, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to find your way, just trying to find love. And so, you might join a gang. You might join, the neighborhood because of where you grew up. And so you're looking for love. And so you see these, these brothers, you know what I'm saying, who you feel like get respect and they're tough. And those are the things that you want to be and emulate. And you don't really see much of a future for yourself anyway, because your mother's telling you that you ain't shit, and you know what I'm saying, you're so dumb and stupid, and why you messing up in school, not knowing the fact that you're just lost and you just want and desire love. And so you go and you join a gang because you know what I'm saying, because that's who loves you, or it's a twisted version of love, but that's one sense. Or another could be, you may have some unhealed issues with your mother. And so for your 20s and your 30s, you out here slinging ding-a-ling all over the place.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's real. And so, you see a chick, you want to dominate her. You want to, make her fall in love with you. And then you do that. You get what you want. And then you get the post-nut clarity and you realize like, yeah, she not it. And then you're repeating the cycle. But at some point, right, you have to do the work to heal that trauma, right? Either through art or through self-love, whatever the outlet needs to be.
Because it's a lot of connections being made.
Yeah.
That are one-sided.
Talk about it. Okay, hand gestures.
No,
she's bringing in the plane, huh?
No, but kind of just like going off what you said. Like, I don't want to speak for men, or I don't want to speak for anybody. I can only speak for myself. But just kind of like being friends with other men and like hearing their side of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the time, like even looking at it, it's just kind of like, why deal with somebody that you don't really want to have a connection with? Like,
right.
It's just why share something so personal to me? And this is my opinion, which is personal, but why share something so personal? Just
are you talking about intimacy in that way, like sexual intimacy?
Yeah. Like,
well, I think the way that I would view that is that I think a lot of people with sex is a release of a lot of different hormones, right? One of which is the same hormone that makes you feel the equivalent to love.
Pause. You be saying hormone.
Hormone, yeah. Am I saying it wrong? My accent sometimes.
I don't want to say it's wrong. It's just funny that you say hormone.
It's hormones.
It's spelled H-A-R?
H-O-R. My bad. I'm from the VI. Big up yourself. Saint Corey Massa, if you don't know. So if I say something a little bit off, it's because I have an accent, y'all. I'm not from the United States. I'm from the Virgin Islands. Well, technically we're U.S. territory, but VI up, never down. Yeah, period. That, whatever you just did. So I think what it is it's an addiction to those chemicals that get released, right? If you're feeling down and out, if you're feeling low, right? And especially if you're a young man, your animalistic desires at that age, you just want to lay something down all the time anyway. You're not really taught sexual discipline or how to harness that energy another episode, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah, I won't be here for that one.
How we harness sexual energy to turn it into creative energy, as a man or women, as or woman, or in between, whatever, just taking that desire and transmuting it. If you're not taught how to do that, then you're basically a slave to your physicality. And so you're feeling low, you're feeling depressed, or you're just feeling super amped and you have a lot of energy and you don't know what to do with it. So it's just like
A
a
dopamine
freaking,
hit.
yeah, it's like a perfect cocktail, a perfect storm of things going on within you as a person. And you see something, a beautiful woman who you think is curvy and attractive and has a beautiful smile. And you know what I'm saying? Big booty and a smile. You know what they say. But you know, you end up kind of like going in that direction, and then you're like, oh snap, this isn't really what I wanted. And then you're just repeating the cycle over and over and over again because you're getting a fix. It's just, you're no different than someone who's addicted to crack cocaine, you know what I'm saying, or any other drug. It's literally an addiction. You just don't realize it, and our society normalizes this. Our society makes the playboy type the type that's to be respected. Meanwhile, you're just handing out trauma left and right. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, women are the victim, a lot of the times, and sometimes it's the reverse. There's a lot of women who are in their masculine energy too, and just like they've been hurt so many times that they are just like, F it, I'm just gonna get mines, only to realize that you're just compounding your trauma and making things worse for yourself.
Oof.
And so, yeah. So
Oof.
to bring it kind of like full circle, I think what's really important and something that I really want to do on this podcast is just through different topics and through different modalities, discuss ways that we can really tap in and figure out who we are and what our soul truly desires. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily what the world desires for you, which I think a lot of people are operating in.
Yeah, but it's hard to get out of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
me and my mom were having a talk maybe like 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like talking about being one way for a
Mm-hmm.
long time and then realizing this is not really how I want to be. And
Sometimes it takes that.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like you set the stage for a play and you have a show every night. You do the show the same every single day for 25 years. Then
That habit is hard to
that day
break.
3 on year 26 is like, actually, like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So then it's like it's even harder to break the habit. And like when we're young, like even before early 20s, like you don't even know to be like, oh, I've been through this, or I feel like this, or why is this happening to me?
Yeah. Right.
So like it's really, I think that it is important to sometimes take a step back and kind of just look at the full scope of everything that's going on around you,
Yeah.
so you can really figure out what it is that's going on. Because I feel like subconsciously, even people who may not really be ready to face themselves and be told the truth, like they know what's going on, like for real, like why they might be doing something,
Excuse me.
or like why, like, why they might be putting themselves in the same situation or like repeating patterns.
Yeah. No.
Like
100%.
my aunt tells me all the time, like, it's good that you're doing this type of stuff now, because she's like, you started when you got to my age, it just becomes so much harder.
Yeah.
Because you just when you don't do the work, not hate, but like, everybody's like, do the work, but
Yeah,
for
I
real, like
say
when
that
you
all the
don't
time.
when you don't do the work, like the longer you wait, the harder
It becomes. No, that's very,
but
very true.
at the same time, though, like everybody really is on their own time, and it's not a time crunch.
That's also really true. Yes.
Right, but everybody is on their own time, and like I started therapy at 25, but I knew even before that I was like, I think I want to start talking to somebody. I think I want to start seeing somebody, like, and just kind of talking about my family, my relationships, like all of that stuff. And that's just at 25, but somebody might not have that realization until they're 30, or until they have kids, or until they're way down the line and been like, you know what, I did all this stuff, or I was affected by this, and it just becomes so much harder. So like, honestly, kudos to anybody who does decide to take the step to do the work no matter what the time is, but you really have to be ready to like when you get on the bus to go on this journey, like you got to know that when you get off at the next stop, it's really not going to be like, well, I'm done. No.
Right.
That bus pulls off and you hop on another one.
That's a fact.
Like, that's it.
Great analogy.
Yo, I really be...
You be tapped in.
I be doing it with the analogies. Come on now.
Put some respect on your name. No, I think that was really well stated. The healing journey, at least as I know it, it never truly ends. But what you do get better at is you do get, when life throws you off balance, when the shitstorm comes,
you know how to center yourself.
You become the eye in the storm. You know what I mean? Literally. So the world could be going like crazy around you. You know what I'm saying? But you're in that center and you're just like, you're good. Like, you know what? It's cool. Like the bill to get paid, I ain't tripping. Everything's about peaks.
I'm really looking to get to that part. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I'm really looking to get to like really to that part of like my mindset.
Yeah.
Of being like, not even, oh, I'm not worried about what's happening, but just being like, you know what? This is what's happening. Like, I just, so I seen my dad yesterday and he was like, I'm not even trying to get on you and I'm not being mean or anything. But you, like, when you do certain things, there are consequences.
100%.
Like, you can't, you messed up with X, Y, and Z, like, because you did this. And like, you can't just say, well, I want to do this. You can't think, because it's never, like, if you don't put no action behind it, it's just a dream. Like, it's just, yeah. So like, even with you saying like, you know, I got bills, but it's not even like, oh, I'm not worried about it, but like, it's still some type of action behind it so that things can get taken care of.
100%.
But stressing about it
doesn't help. Nope. Matter of fact, it makes you more anxious. It stresses you out. It raises your cortisol levels, which, you know, increases the possibility of disease.
And that's why people wake up so many times in the middle of the night.
I mean, listen, some people just aren't sleeping, period, because they don't know how to quiet their minds.
It's hard to do.
Constantly racing.
I told you I start getting up in the morning and so I stopped using the guided meditation. I'm probably going to go back.
Okay.
But I stopped because I wanted to try and see how I could, I really want to just start doing it on my own, being able to quiet my mind on my own. But that shit is hard. Because, like, what I visualize in my head is, like, I'm in a room and it's just things, people, whatever around me making noise and trying to call out my name, right?
Okay.
But it's also, like, something else separated, like, nope, be quiet. Like, stop that. So like, it'll grab my attention, but then I can somehow bring myself back to center. Yeah. But I do find myself still kind of like, oh, huh, what?
Yeah.
So it's hard work. Like, but the thing is, like, the whole world of healing or spirituality or just trying to better yourself as a human being is not easy. Yeah. Like, it's just not. Like,
it can be challenging.
It's not like when I started therapy, I just was like, I'm talking to somebody, I'm telling them about how I don't have a great relationship with X, Y, and Z, whatever. Yeah. But the more I've done it, the more I tell my therapist now, I'm like, like, I'm so happy that I decided to take this chance on myself. But like, yo, this shit is annoying. Like, I don't want to be the bigger person.
I know our ego wants to get back. It wants to.
Yeah, it's so easy to just dive right into that. And so many things now are ego driven. I've been talking to one of my good girlfriends about this, and it's just like, I feel like I'm coming to the point where I'm probably going to just come off Instagram, and not to be like, oh, I'm deleting Instagram, but it's just, when you think about it, like it's just a popularity contest.
100%.
And a lot of times, like, there's definitely aspects of Instagram that I enjoy. I love reels. I like sending my friends funny stuff. I like to post, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just like, even when I think about if I make a caption, like, it's ego driven almost. It's like, I'm gonna shit on you.
Right. I'm gonna say some deep ass fake shit. That's
it
sounds really
like
cool.
That, or like, oh, I know somebody want me, or blah blah blah. Like, first of all, nobody's even checking. You know what I'm saying? I just said that to one of my girlfriends. I'm like, who am I? I'm like, listen, somebody might be checking for me, but who am I to just be like, writing a caption like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
not
yeah,
even,
yeah, yeah.
I hate to sound like I'm trying to like down myself or
It's
like
like a
humble myself.
bravado thing.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but the thing is, I think I do a good job of like, it's really just me on my Instagram. Like, if you don't know what's going on in my life unless you really know me for real, or unless I
You
put it
keep that
out there.
world separate from
Yeah.
yourself. Like you listen, there's nothing wrong with having an alter ego or allowing your ego to come play sometimes. You know what I'm
It's there
saying?
for a reason. You told me this.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's there. It has a reason. It has a purpose. But I think the problem with society, and again, this is going to be another, just another hint to another
It's just so
episode.
much stuff we're gonna end up talking about.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
for
not even like, oh, it's
sure.
gonna be another episode. Like, the thing is, me and DJ will just start talking and we'll just start going off. I feel like I low key just was going off
You
too.
was in your back. You was in flow. I'll let you have it. I'll
But
let you
yeah,
have
like
it.
it's gonna be so much stuff. But okay, let me shut up.
Yeah, yeah. So no, but your ego has a purpose, right? And when we're talking about ego, we're talking about a part of your maybe your inner self that allows you to that runs your fight, flight, freeze responses. So that's the main purpose of your ego. So like if you're in the middle of the freaking woods and a bear pops up and is like growling at you and about to come at you, your ego is going to tell you like, yo, run, fight back, whatever it is for you to, or just curl up in a ball, whatever it can to get you to survive that moment. And so as children, you know, as we develop ourselves, our ego kind of comes in. And a lot of the times when we go through like traumatic experiences, our ego kind of takes over and helps us get through it, right? So when your mom yells at you for breaking a glass and calls you stupid, your ego is what comes in and kind of tries to help you through the process. The problem with that is that a lot of the times, even if you say, I'm not stupid, you know, you hear that over and over again, you begin to believe it. And then your ego will then create a story around that. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I make mistakes. Like, I can't be trusted. And so the ego then becomes overactive all the time. And so you're always on a defense. So it's your defense mechanism, is the way I define it as. And so a lot of us, if we're not doing the conscious work to overcome and become the driver of our lives, then otherwise your ego is the thing that's driving you. So, you know, for men, for example, right? You feel like you need to have a chick, she's 5'5", brown eyes with thick thighs. You know what I'm saying? For your life to be complete. And so the rest of your life, because your ego likes that, right? Like having a bad chick on your arm, that makes you look good. That builds up your ego to say, oh, I'm worthy because I have this beautiful partner of mine that everybody wants, right? You know what I'm saying? Everyone lusts after. But that person might be the most toxic person, but you'll stay with that person because it fits what your ego wants.
Bars.
See what I'm saying? Because it tells you that story of like, yeah, this person validates the fact that like the opposite was true when I was a child. I was being told that I'm not shit or whatever. But with this person by my side, I get so much attention. I get so many likes on Instagram. I get, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, yo, you the man, son. That's you right there. You getting that. That's all feeding your ego. Meanwhile, this person, she probably don't even know how to take care of you. She don't know how to nurture you. She don't know how to love you. You don't know how to love her. And y'all are arguing all the time. But on the gram, y'all look great together. And to you, that's worth it because your ego is getting what it wants. But what happens is, this is how depression and stuff, in my opinion, part of it, or some of what depression comes from, is over time, you realize that your soul wants something different. Your soul wants real love. Your soul wants real partnership. Your soul wants to like travel and have a good time and have different experiences outside of the mundane and the BS and the clubs and the whatever else that y'all are into.
Yeah.
Just for the likes. Y'all are sitting down at dinner. Y'all don't even talk to each other. Y'all are on your phones y'all whole time. Y'all in this beautiful restaurant. The whole experience is about taking pictures for the gram. Y'all ain't there to even enjoy the food.
Right.
And the communion between you two. Y'all don't even talk. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all ego driven.
It's all for show.
It's all for show. And that's
show.
you know what I'm saying? So that's what the ego does. And so we'll talk definitely a lot more about that because I really think that a lot of us could free, if we get back in control of our lives and we get in alignment with what our soul truly desires, we would lead have a lot happier lives. Things like depression would be down, bipolarism would be down. In my opinion, I know that there are some other chemically imbalanced things happening with diet, and
It's a lot of stuff.
there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. But I'm just saying, there's certain depressions and sadness and mood swings and things that can be altered by getting back into the driver's seat of your life. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that y'all tap in with us, and we'll show you how to get there, through these conversations.
I mean, at least we're going to try, because shit, I'm still learning.
Shit, I'm still learning too. I'm definitely listen, you're never going to stop learning on this planet, fam. I'm sorry to tell you. And if you're not, then you're not growing. You're in the same place that you was. You just spinning in place.
It's just stagnant. Stagnation. Is stagnation a word?
Stagnation is a word. Yeah. You just stuck in the same place. And we're here to grow. Who wants to be the same We all know the same person that's stuck into the old ways. There's dudes right now. Well, I know, like, I was about to clown people that wear Rocawear jeans and stuff like that, but
no, Rocawear's coming back.
That's coming back. That's coming back. But
but like a couple years ago, if you was wearing stuff like that, you're actually hilarious. But if you was wearing stuff like that, and like it, because it's more people in a line or in a group that like a certain thing or like the mainstream stuff, for you to step out and be like, well, I like this, it's like, what the fit?
That's a good point. Not to shame people that like to do things differently, but I shouldn't have chose that example, but I hope that you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. What I'm saying is that we all know someone that is stuck in the past. All right, this might be a better example. We all know maybe somebody who like was a star athlete in high school, and 30 years later, they're still telling stories about
the has-beens.
The has-beens, the games, because they peaked early. They peaked in high school. You know what I'm saying? That's all they could talk about. Like, oh, yeah, I went pro and da-da-da-da. But all right, cool. But what do you have for yourself now? Like, who are you outside of that? What have you done since then to impact the world in a positive way?
It just becomes their whole personality.
Their whole identity.
Yeah. And it's, you know what? It's nothing wrong with being like, I was doing this, I was great at that, blah, blah, blah.
You can be proud of your accomplishments.
Of course. Of course. And I'm a high five you for it every time.
100%.
But it's like, if that's all that you feel like you have to live for, what are you living for?
Facts. 100%. What have you been doing? What have you been doing with your life?
I feel like we've all been there before. Whether you played a sport, like there's always something that like you're like, well, I used to, or I like.
Yo, it's funny. I was just showing somebody the other day, like my track and field highlights from high school. You know what I'm saying? So, there's no judgment in me saying those things. Again, I just hope that y'all are seeing the example that I'm trying to say.
This is a retired has-been we're looking at.
All right, here we go.
We're doing the work here.
Here we go.
Palm trees.
I have a lot more to offer now, more than a track athlete. Just saying, or a former track athlete. Tap in with me, you'll see. But yeah, man, it's about growth while you're here, dude. Like, if you're not growing, if you're not learning, or like, what
yeah, and not even to sound, you know what I was thinking about too, and I really shouldn't even, I should let go of this. But, and like, I was kind of thinking like, I think that we'll definitely have plenty of moments on these episodes or when we record, whether it's on the video or whatever, where we're like, we have fun and we tell jokes. Like, obviously we're talking about real stuff because these are things that are important to us, but I definitely don't want it to be, I was just thinking like, oh, like we got to make sure that it's real and it's raw and blah, blah, blah. But like that shit is going to happen naturally. Like,
yeah, 100%.
We'll definitely be talking about doing the work and healing and becoming better human beings, individuals, better in our relationships and stuff like that, romantic or platonic. But like, it's going to be like
light and free. It's
just real.
Yeah,
that's it. Because I'm not about to sit here and be like, yes, you need to do the work, and this is how you need to do it, and ego is bad, and this. Like,
it's not about shaming anyone. You know what I mean? Like, it's not shame on you. You haven't been doing the work type shit. Yeah. But it's definitely like, if you have been asleep, like, yo, it's better over here. Come kick it with us, bruh.
Yeah.
Like after, like trust me, as Raven was talking about with therapy, there's tough moments and there's a lot of painful, moments that we go through and you have to discuss and things of that nature. But once you heal those things, your life gets infinitely better. It's better over here,
And
fam.
you know what I
By
say too when I
far.
just thought about it, just even as an individual.
Yeah.
Like I seen something or like on a TikTok or a reel like probably earlier this summer. It actually might have been when Ramadan was still happening. And somebody was like, conflict creates intimacy, but that doesn't even mean like within a relationship, romantic or platonic. Like, think about intimacy in regards to becoming closer with who you are at your
Into
core.
me, I see. Intimacy. Into me, I see. You never heard that before?
Never.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even just doing the work as an individual, like you face conflict that has happened, is happening, or could potentially happen, so that you can become more, like you said, centered, eye of the storm.
There you go.
Because the thing is, like, it's always going to be shit happening.
100%.
It's always going to be a storm. Like, it's sunny now. It's raining somewhere else.
100%. Snowing somewhere else.
I don't know where I'm getting with that, but
Thunder
yeah.
and earthquake. No, I think what you're saying is that life is about seasons and ebb and flows, highs and lows.
You can't be up if you ain't down.
You know what I mean? You can't appreciate being up
Yes.
if you haven't
said.
been down.
Thank you, sir.
Because if you're up all the time, you're not going to appreciate it. This is how we're designed as human beings. So if you can't appreciate the sun without the rain.
Are we about to start rapping?
We about to start rapping.
Bar for bar? Is that what we're doing?
Let's go. You can't appreciate appreciate the warmth of summer without the cold sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to experience the opposite of in order for you to really feel grateful for what you have. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's important to still acknowledge the things that you have and be grateful for where you are, even when you're down. Because if
Come
you're
on.
not,
Come on. Talk to me. Yeah.
No, but yeah, like,
I got a quote for you.
And it's something that I'm working on now too. Like,
yeah,
it's been months where I felt like I haven't really been up the way that I have liked to, but I have a job.
Like things.
Yes, I have.
Excuse my fridge. It has
like,
an opinion.
I have a job, which means I have money coming in.
Yeah.
My car works. Like, even with my dad fixing my truck yesterday, like, I'm grateful enough for my family to be in a position where my dad can just be like, this is what you need to get.
Pull up.
Yeah, like, just come here and I'm going to fix it the same day. Because I was so like, oh, I can come during the weekend just because I know he works. Like, he gets up early.
Yeah.
And so, but I still went and he just did it and that was it.
That's what's
Even
up.
like, like, and being able to, like, go to the gym, move my body, feel my heartbeat. Like, I'm healthy, my body works. Like, I get to my destinations safely, and I have been, and in the future, hopefully, God willing, that I do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're speaking that into existence, right?
But it's just, like, you got to be able to just be like, you know what, this shit sucks right now, but like, I'm not homeless. I'm not like it's
it can
really
be worse.
people that have it worse.
100%. And there's a quote that shout out to my guy Hines on YouTube. Love his content. He got this from the Tao or the Tao. It's Tao with a D, but it's spelled with a T. When a good day is here, be grateful, because a bad day is gonna come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when it's a bad day, be grateful.
Yeah.
Because a good day is gonna come. You gotta figure out a way to be in gratitude, because
It's so
sulking in
important.
your misery, it's only begets more misery. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to be adding more stress to yourself. It's better to ride the storm and see what the lesson is, because everything is a lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, listen, I feel like this is a great place to end the episode.
We did good.
We did amazing. You're good. You're the dopest. You're the dopest. Listen, family, thanks so much for tapping in with us. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We're everywhere. Spiritual Gems with an S. Thank you so much for tapping into us for the first episode. Hopefully, we'll see you soon for more. Peace.